Southern New England's natural beauty versus a changing climate. Devastating storms no longer happen once in a century.
We can't live like this.
Intense rain flooding homes and businesses.
I never saw anything like this in my life.
Warming waters fueling stronger storms.
Most of the extremes that we're seeing with climate change are getting worse.
How will we adapt? This is an NBC 10 Climate Conversation.
Hello and welcome to beautiful Jamestown, Rhode Island.
Behind us is Beavertail Lighthouse, but in front of us is actually the original location of Beavertail Light, which was created in 1749, and at the time it was only the third lighthouse in colonial America.
It's amazing. The base of this pre-Revolutionary era lighthouse had laid covered for well over 100 years until the historic hurricane of 1938 revealed its crumbling foundation. And of course, over the years, storms have raged across the southern tip of Connecticut Island, shifting its shoreline, just like it has across all the shoreline of southern New England. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mark Searles.
And I'm meteorologist Christina Ernie. Tonight we're continuing our climate conversation, and we're talking about extreme weather events as well as the multiple disaster declarations we've seen over the past year.
We'll also tell you about some new technology that's helping to map flooding events in our area. We'll have some eye-opening information on how our summer weather patterns are changing, plus we'll take a look at what's going on in the tropical Atlantic.
And to wrap it up, we'll have a look at our winter weather outlook. But first, to start, we've seen our fair share of severe weather events across southern New England, and one such stretch brought us significant flooding.
Back to back to back. 3 major rainstorms hit southern New England last September, December, and this January. Upwards of 5 to 7 inches of rain falling in waves in mid-September.
There was a large part of Providence County that was really impacted by pretty heavy rains, 4 and 5 inches an hour rain, and it was overwhelming for Providence County.
You may remember this scene in Cranston. Several people forced out of their homes in Dean Estates when flash flooding washed out basement apartments.
My dishwasher door blew off. My refrigerator started flying up the wall, off the ground. My kitchen table, my chairs, all my furniture, floating around. It was scary, let me tell you. I never saw anything like this in my life.
A shopping plaza on Branch Avenue in Providence, underwater. 24 people rescued from cars. One business had 22 inches of water inside.
Our loss is really in the upward of $1 million.
Then in December, another round of heavy rain, this time coupled with whipping winds. Local rivers breached their banks, the Pawtucket River cresting at its second highest level on record.
Pretty sad, very sad. And this is not the first time this area had been flooded, but this is the worst I've seen it.
Rhode Island's southern shoreline battered by the storm. And in January, the third intense storm in 5 months. 6 inches of rain, wind gusts of 77 miles per hour. Once again, homes and businesses underwater. This street in Cumberland was no match for raging waters.
It looks like the earth opened up right in front of my house.
In Johnston, homeowners on Belfield Drive who did not evacuate ahead of time were trapped inside. Boats and Humvees brought in to rescue people.
We can't live like this. It's been since 2010. 5 floods already, on and off.
Homeowners left to clean up the mess.
3 floods, one after the other. We're just not comfortable here, and this is our home.
Once the first of those storms passed in September, the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency, or REMA, did a survey to see how bad the damage was across Rhode Island's neighborhoods. Their data came back suggesting we may be eligible for a disaster declaration from the president.
So REMA contacted the federal agency, FEMA, and as a result of Rhode Island being so proactive, we were able to get more money into Rhode Islanders' pockets earlier to help recover from these storms.
Disaster declaration. You've most likely heard the term, and perhaps it sounds simple enough. A storm blows in, causes big problems, and gets declared a disaster. Simple, right? But I found out it takes a lot for a state to be able to declare a disaster, and not just any storm damage is eligible to receive federal assistance. In a 5-month span between September 2023 and January 2024, our area endured 3 separate powerful disastrous storms.
So we pursued it. We contacted FEMA. They came down and we did joint damage assessments. And we were able to put enough information together to hit the threshold for an individual assistance disaster for that event for September.
Again, sounds simple, right? But what you may not know is that it took months of behind-the-scenes work with local cities and towns, assessing and documenting damage, compiling records, all necessary before federal agents can give the okay for government assistance. So what do those assessments look like? A group of FEMA workers go door to door in areas with storm damage. Sometimes homeowners get money right on the spot.
Our disaster cyber assistants will knock on the door, work with them to get them registered, and then they'll schedule an inspection. An inspection typically happens within 7 to 10 days. And in this instance in Rhode Island, we brought out advanced application services members with our inspectors. They actually use an iPad. They can do the damage assessment there, and they can actually approve it on site. So they've given us their electronic banking information. They can have money deposit in their bank accounts the same day or the very next day. And in the instance of Rhode Island, and similarly in Massachusetts, because I'm also overseeing Massachusetts disaster 4784, Bristol and Worcester counties, we put out millions of dollars within the first 2 weeks of the disaster.
Bob Fogel is the federal coordinating officer for FEMA Region 1. And he says Rhode Island made the process of declaring a disaster much easier.
Because of the great coordination Mark and his team worked on with the local EMDs, those people got registered, reported their damages. If they don't report their damages to their local emergency managers or the state can't submit and justify a presidential declaration. Rhode Island did that, and they did a phenomenal job. And I can tell you there is $21 million, and there are 4,500 survivors in the state of Rhode Island that would not have gotten money and assistance for their individual impacts to their homes, their personal property, their vehicles that were flooded.
The message here is clear. If you don't apply, then you can't get help. And even if you have good insurance and feel as though you've gotten all the help possible, you still may be eligible for more.
But the bottom line is there are many, many things that are available through FEMA in an individual assistance disaster that if they don't apply, they could never get.
The money is a grant, not a loan. That's an important distinction.
Yes, FEMA can't make them whole, completely whole, but we're trying to get them launched on their recovery as best that we can, right? And this is a grant. This is not taxable. This is not IRS reportable. It is money. It is cash for them to start their recovery process.
These 3 storms impacted a wide area all across southern New England. The December and January storm had mostly affected Rhode Island, but the September storm had a wider reach with its heavy flooding rain for parts of Massachusetts, too.
Rhode Island had impacts from September of 2023. Massachusetts also had impacts from that same storm front during that September timeframe. It took a while to get the approval for Massachusetts, for Worcester and Bristol counties. To date, we've put out $6.2 million in both those counties, about 2.1 in Bristol County and about $4.1 million in Worcester County to survivors, about 1,000 survivors from those storms.
Some homeowners were impacted by 2 or all 3 of the storms to hit southern New England between September and January.
We had over 300 people that were impacted by 2 of those storms that received FEMA benefits for both storms. And we had about 150 people that were impacted by all 3 storms.
They were complex storms with varying impacts across the entire region.
The other thing, too, is, and people forget, those storms had a lot of wind with them and a lot of tide. So beaches were impacted. Narragansett, South Kingston, Westerly, Charleston all had damage down along the coastline that qualified and added to this disaster.
Director Mark Pappas was with Rhode Island EMA during the historic March 2010 floods. He says the level of assistance and the process is much better now.
The process involved in how we do recovery with the local emergency management directors and city and town officials, along with how we deal with our federal partners at FEMA, has just become so much better that people, like Bob just said, they're getting money in their bank accounts that day. That didn't happen back in 2010.
And while we certainly hope we don't see more storms capable of producing disaster-level damage in our near future, we know that with a shifting climate, coupled with warmer oceans, our weather is highly charged and prone to more events like these. Having all the information available to you can protect you and your family before and after the storm.
Coming up next, we are hitting the roads with a high-tech vehicle mapping the coast of southern New England, the tools inside that can help all of us plan for future floods. Whether it comes from a slow-moving, training thunderstorm event or from coastal storm surge, flooding events in southern New England have become more frequent, and we've certainly seen that this year.
Absolutely, and coastal communities are often the most at risk when it's the combination in particular of that sea level rise and those serious flooding events. So I actually checked out a tool that can be used to help map out where the worst flooding can be and potentially save some lives.
We see it time and time again, storm surge flooding the main roadways by Narragansett Town Beach, or the flooding on Oaklawn Avenue in Cranston after a heavy rain event. We can't stop the impacts of a changing climate overnight, but we can prepare for it.
Whether or not you believe that these storms are getting worse because of climate change and sea level rise, it's a fact that 100-year storms are now happening every 10 years. And authentic, precise visuals, I think, make it real for people.
Authentic visuals are exactly what Climate Central's field producer Max Grader has spent the summer capturing.
I'm driving the flood rover down the east and Gulf Coast, started in Maine, I'm going all the way to Texas. We're collecting data on coastal roads to assess future flood conditions.
We caught him as he passed through Providence in the custom-designed flood rover. This vehicle uses 2 cameras, LiDAR technology, and GPS to precisely map an area and its elevation as it drives. They then overlay this data to create hyper-realistic images of coastal spots facing the combination of typical sea level rise and flooding events.
The information I'm gathering is going to be used to maybe help plan evacuation routes. If local government gets funding and they want to decide where to spend it, and I drive past the pier and they see the left side of the pier, it's going to be completely submerged, the right side of the pier isn't, they know to put the money where it will do the most good.
The visuals created help communities brace for future flooding events, but also can be life-saving.
I think back to Katrina, and a lot of people didn't leave, but if they could see this in real life, they might have left.
This is the goal: bracing communities, saving people time, money, resources, and lives. Take Atlantic Avenue in Westerly. We could see a 3-foot jump in sea level here through 2050. And during a 100-year flood event, seawater levels may reach up to 7 feet above the high tide line. That excludes additional erosion we see through the next 2.5 decades or any additional rainfall that comes out of the potential storm. Also, Shipyard Street in Providence, right by the Providence River. By 2050, this is the projected water level, a foot above the current river level, flooding a local building.
So these visualizations can be huge resources for all of us, since 54% of all municipalities in the state include the coastline, and sea level rise along the East Coast is projected to be 10 to 12 inches within the next 30 years. And within the next half century, that would put businesses in Barrington, for instance, right on the banks of the Narragansett, partially underwater. Here's an example. This is the Barrington Congregational Church, and in 2050, we would see the combination of sea level rise and a flooded event really put some of our businesses like this church underwater. And within a century, it would also put some of Martha's Vineyard's most historic gingerbread houses underwater by 6 feet without proper mitigation. This is a look at some of the gingerbread houses currently, and by the year 2100, we could see those flooding events create really huge issues with the structures that are right by the coastline. So these visualizations are good tools that we can use when planning new builds in communities, developing emergency management plans, and even just protecting the homes and businesses already lining our 400 miles of coastline in Rhode Island. So speaking of which, across the U.S. as a whole, nearly 40% of the population lives at the coastline. And from the 1970s through 2010, there's actually been a dramatic uptick with people moving to the coastline and living there despite the increased flood risk. So using the information we know about projected flooding and Flood Vision's projections, maps and images, we can make smarter choices to save people money and time. And this goes for the entire country. We just saw a destructive flooding event in westernmost Connecticut. Towns like Newtown and Monroe and Oxford saw over 14 inches of rainfall, and it's actually called a 1,000-year event.
That's incredible. It was literally 4 months worth of rain that fell in about 6 hours' time. And if it can happen there, it can most certainly happen right here. As our climate changes, these flooding rain events are becoming more and more frequent.
The water's up to the wall right there, the top of the wall.
The destructive and now deadly floodwaters that washed over parts of the Northeast in August rose quickly. trapping many people inside homes and businesses.
Look at that going across there. My God.
Up to 10 inches of rain fell across parts of southwestern Connecticut.
We are talking about rainfall in some areas in the 1,000-year level.
A dam along the Woonsocket River was no match for the torrential weekend storms. Water rushed over its top, worsening the flooding downriver.
It's all the way up to here. Now I'm standing in a foot of water in the bar.
Firefighters in Oxford used their ladder truck for the daring over-water rescue of 19 people and a dog from an inn. And a single mother watched helplessly as her home collapsed into rushing water.
I'm numb and then feeling everything at the same time.
Connecticut state leaders are asking for a federal emergency declaration.
We are already working with municipalities and our state agencies and our federal partners to determine whether or not we can ask for some federal assistance.
And they acknowledge this rare, destructive weather is most likely connected to climate change.
This is a very historic and unprecedented rainfall event, and it's consistent with the accelerating impacts of climate change that we're experiencing.
Coming up, we take a look at rising ocean temperatures
and how they can affect our long-term weather patterns. Well, we've all noticed it. Summers are getting more and more humid, and at this point, air conditioning is no longer a luxury, it's a must.
Absolutely, and to understand why humidity is going up, we need to look no further than right here. The oceans cover over 70% of the planet, and they're the largest reservoir of heat on planet Earth. So as temperatures go up, evaporation rates increase, and that adds more humidity to the air.
And as a result, this is changing or shifting our summer patterns. So meteorologist AJ Mastrangelo is going to be taking a look at how this is affecting our summer seasons over time.
New England summers are typically known for bright sunshine and cool, crisp nights, but finding days like this has been increasingly hard. Temperature records, specifically in Rhode Island, aren't being broken at a rate like other parts of the country. While the summertime temperatures have gone up, it's the increase in humidity that's really raising eyebrows, and the people seem to agree.
It does feel like it's been hotter earlier in the day and more humid.
I've noticed that this summer the humidity and heat has been a lot worse than the last couple summers I've been in Providence.
It definitely feels much more humid, and on Cape Cod it was hot, hot, hot. Just constantly hot, a lot of kind of downfalls of rain.
Dr. Kim Cobb from Brown University explains why this is a troubling trend.
Most of the extremes that we're seeing with climate change are getting worse. This is not something that you need a rocket scientist to uncover at this point. People see it in the headlines every single day. But what's interesting is to try to document and quantify the true human cost of these impacts of climate change. And that's really what our researchers are doing, connecting those dots. This is a taxpayer issue. It's hitting our economy to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars per year in climate-related damages.
While most living spaces have air conditioning, those using it are paying more, and those without it are suffering more as summer air and dew point temperatures heat up.
Well, we definitely have had to run the air conditioner more, which costs more money, all right, and we'll feel that in the electric bill. It's just been uncomfortable.
Definitely have had to keep the AC on more, and like I said, we're just in the apartment more. Previous summers, definitely able to leave the apartment and not worry so much about what the AC was at, but now it's constantly on because we're at home.
According to Climate Central, since 1970, Providence on average experiences 11 more days over 85 degrees each year. I asked him how these hot days impact the ocean state.
Well, certainly warmer temperatures do bring a host of challenges, not just that public health threat where we're talking about those very vulnerable communities being subject to heat-related illness and even potentially heat-related deaths related to extreme heat that we're facing every single summer now in Rhode Island. And this, again, will worsen going forward. But it also has an impact on energy use and energy access. And so many people don't want to turn on their air conditioning knob because it is costly to burn that air conditioner during these extreme temperatures. So that increases the cost of energy for folks across the state on a year-by-year basis. And again, this will be worsened going forward.
When heading outside, the phrase "early bird gets the worm," it holds true in the heat of summer.
On which days do I have to move my exercising to, or the bigger dog walks?
I have to get out early in the morning because it's just too hot and humid later on.
While the increasingly brutal summer heat is forcing folks outside earlier, the effects from a warmer and wetter climate are being felt throughout the year.
Because of all the rain, I've noticed a lot more bugs during the day, mosquitoes during the day.
And we've noticed the marsh is yellowing way earlier this year. And everything was earlier. The flowers were earlier.
Near the winter times, it's been like snowing like way less. Like normally we get like blizzards, but it's like not even snowing that much anymore.
Dr. Cobb's message remains clear. Without changes to our carbon emissions, things will only get worse.
Reality has officially caught up with the science now, and we're seeing it in the headlines day by day, summer by summer. So we have any number of these things that we can already see directly related to climate change, and you can just put your hand on the knob and crank it up, because that's what's going to happen over the next 10 or 20 years.
The past half century has already brought changes. So far this year, Providence experienced 18 days with tropical-like dew points over 75 degrees. That's over 7 times the average between 1950 and 1980. You can see those averages continue to go up. Humidity like this can and has raised heat index values to dangerous levels. And the effects aren't only felt during the day. The frequency of 70-degree nights, well, that's nearly doubled since 1975. And more people rely on that air conditioning opposed to cracking the windows. The cost of climate resilience for warmer and wetter seasons expected to continue to rise over the coming years. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Adrian Mastrangelo.
Coming up in our next half hour, hurricane season so far has been pretty quiet, but we're actually just getting to the peak of all the activity.
We'll take a look at how prepared southern New England is for the next storm, plus what climate change may mean for the future of tropical storms.
And also coming up, we'll have all 5 Storm Team 10 members take a look at the potential for what's to come this upcoming winter.
I cannot wait to hear your prediction. You don't want to miss that. Well, it was 33 years ago when our last landfalling hurricane hit our shoreline. Of course, that was Hurricane Bob.
Yeah, and in the decades since, our coastline has shifted and evolved from erosion and development. And at the same time, we've seen a dramatic uptick in the number of named storms that we're seeing in the Atlantic Basin that the Hurricane Center tracks.
Meteorologist Jason Doris takes a look at how climate change is affecting the future of tropical storms right here in these waters.
Climate change is all-encompassing, meaning it impacts everything that has to do with the weather, including hurricane season. And we've actually already started to see hurricane season evolving over the last several decades, more specifically with the number of named storms per decade. So let's take a look at this. Over the 1970s all the way to 2000, in the Atlantic Basin, we only averaged about 10 named storms per year, but then we went from the 80s to 2010. We started to see a little bit of an increase up to about 12.1 named storms per year. And then finally, when I was growing up, from the 90s all the way to 2020, we saw about a 28% increase from the 70s to 2000, where we now average about 14.4 named storms per season. Now, is this increase in the activity in the Atlantic Basin actually tied to climate change? Well, I sat down with Isaac Guinness at URI, who is a hurricane expert, to learn a little bit more. Over the last few decades, we've seen that increase in tropical cyclone activity in the Atlantic Basin. Are we expecting that trend to continue because of climate change?
So the hurricane activity in the Atlantic is due to mainly 2 factors. One is the natural climate cycle, which is Atlantic multi-decadal oscillation, and we are currently in the warm phase of this cycle that, starting with 1995, that typically leads to more hurricane activity.
So if the trends that we've been observing recently is related to those natural phases occurring in the atmosphere, what are we really expecting when it comes to the frequency of these storms in the future?
Studies show that we might not see significant increase in number of storms. We also do not have a good handle of how the atmospheric circulation will change in the future.
Is there going to be more of an emphasis on the potential strength of these storms going forward in the future, and a concern about how strong they could be up here in the Northeast?
Particularly concerning for southern New England is that with a warming temperature in the Atlantic, the hurricanes will be able to maintain their intensity as they move to the north. And that means to us is that we can expect more intense storms making landfall in New England. So we might see increase of the frequency of Category 3 and higher hurricanes in New England.
How might these future hurricanes compare to storms that we've seen in the past, like Hurricane Bob?
So the estimates of 10-15% increase in rainfall in the future. For New England, that is another concern because many of our rivers are relatively short and shallow. So that might lead to potential of significantly increase of not only coastal flooding due to storm surge, but also due to inland flooding, flash flooding, river flooding.
Wind speed in the category of the tropical systems may get all the headlines, but as Dr. Guinness just explained, it's important to also pay attention to the rainfall that these storm systems produce. In fact, the inland flooding produced by these storms is the second leading cause of death associated with tropical cyclones. And going forward with climate change, these extreme rainfall events are only expected to intensify. Now, the reason why we know this is through basic physics. For every 1 degree Celsius that the atmosphere warms, those clouds can hold about 7% more water vapor. And over the next 50 years, there's the potential for us to be warming by about 2 degrees Celsius. That means our atmosphere could potentially be holding about 10 to 15% more water. And that means more extreme and more intense heavy rainfall events produced by these tropical cyclones. And that is critical for us here in southern New England because some of our wettest days on record are actually associated with hurricanes and tropical storms. So that will continue to be a big factor in hurricane season and how it evolves here across southern New England. Now, it might be the second leading cause of death, but the number one leading cause of death from tropical cyclones is actually from coastal flooding and also storm surge.
All of Rhode Island's 21 coastal communities have been experiencing impacts already. So any coastal community that you go to, you're likely to see issues like coastal flooding, erosion.
It's no secret that our coastline in southern New England has taken a beating from nor'easters over the last few years. Caitlin Chafee, the chief of the Narragansett Research Reserve, has been studying our shoreline for over a decade. Her findings support that rising sea levels combined with more powerful storm systems have exaggerated coastal flooding events, deteriorating our natural barriers along the shoreline.
We kind of refer to those natural systems, the vegetation and the soil and the sand, that's along our shoreline as our natural infrastructure. So they really do play an important role in protecting our communities. And so, yes, the more that we lose those either from coastal storms or development, so when they're built upon or they wash away and they disappear, they're no longer serving that protective function.
The stress being put on our natural barriers is meticulously monitored by the state of Rhode Island. The Coastal Resource Management Council has documented every inch of coastline since the 1950s. Local spots like Watch Hill, Narragansett Town Beach, Barrington Beach, and the south shore of Tiverton are losing on average a foot to a foot and a half of coastline per year. At some of our most aggressive areas, like Matunic Beach, between 2 and 4.5 feet of coastline are lost per year. This type of shoreline evolution only leaves southern New England more exposed year after year to the next landfalling hurricane. So what is being done to mitigate this?
Our concern is really protecting what we have and making sure that we're managing it in a way that is making it resilient to climate change. The state and many cities and towns are already taking action, but it's a big job. There's a lot of infrastructure in Rhode Island and a lot of communities that are at risk.
Larger, stronger, wetter storms and further coastal erosion are all expected from tropical systems in the future because of climate change. What is the hope going forward?
My optimism comes from the fact that I know that Rhode Islanders really value the beauty of the state and the beauty of the shoreline and the value that it has. I think that in our state in particular, we already have a pretty robust set of coastal regulations. We have excellent science that's helping us think about the future and predict what's going to happen. And so we need to be using that science to make really good decisions.
Coming up, is southern New England ready for impact? New Bedford is putting a plan in place, adapting to the potential for these strengthening storms.
Plus, will these offshore wind farms become danger zones if a hurricane or a tropical storm were to pass over them? Even though it's been over 3 decades since the last hurricane made landfall in New Bedford, it certainly could happen any year now. It's not a matter of if, but when.
And New Bedford is making plans and changes to help protect the coastline and its residents.
Yeah, it's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. We will be hit by a big hurricane at some point.
New Bedford is used to major storms, but the threat has increased over the last few decades.
The need for evacuation is greater now, and that's a function of rising sea levels, more volatile weather, and just the way that we're situated, the way the city's developed.
It starts with preparation, paying attention to forecasts as storms approach southern New England.
The modeling is much more, that's publicly available now, is much more sophisticated than it used to be. And there are multiple sources of and with different types of models that are telling us more or less the same thing.
Changes are being made to ensure that the city and its residents will be ready if and when a storm makes landfall.
We do, when we see a large rainstorm coming, what we'll do is we'll look around for trees that are vulnerable, we'll remove dead branches, we will clear storm basins out.
Leaders want people to be aware of evacuation zones and what shelters will be in place, something learned from past storms.
This past January, we had a couple of strong nor'easters that pushed a lot of storm surge into that area, which was something that we never saw.
New technology helps cities and towns predict what areas might flood. City leaders are then able to take action, getting residents out of harm's way before the rain and wind picks up.
Even in a Category 1 storm, like Hurricane Bob when it landed in New Bedford 30 years ago was a Category 1 storm, would be places that would be swamped. And it's not a technical term, but people can imagine that, right? It's if you have water running up and down the street, a major storm surge waves coming even along here, that's probably the best bet may be to leave.
When a storm approaches the whaling city, the hurricane barrier will act as just that, a barrier to flooding.
It will close that gate when the water is anticipated to, or when the water gets to be 4 feet above mean high tide. When it happens, we shouldn't consider our hurricane barrier, the largest levee on the East Coast, to be like this Maginot line. It's not foolproof. It is not going to prevent all damage to everybody under any circumstances.
How about offshore wind turbines? Revolution Wind, South Fork Wind, and Sunrise Wind are all planned to be built southeast of New Bedford.
You know, those blades are designed to withstand hurricane force winds, but I don't have any reason to believe that they're vulnerable to Debbie or any other hurricane.
The overall message: New Bedford is adapting to a changing climate.
We watch the news, we see storms of greater force happening more frequently here and everywhere else, and so shame on us if we're not thinking about changing our approach because the threats changed.
All right, up next we are looking ahead to the winter. What's in store? Mild temperatures? How about a lot of snow?
How climate change is impacting our winter season. You'll have all 5 members of Storm Team 10 with our predictions.
The number one question I get asked every single year is how much snow we're going to see this upcoming winter, and will it be a harsh winter? I'm going to try to answer that question coming up, but looking back at my time growing up in southeastern Massachusetts on the South Shore, we had some pretty big snowstorms. This picture is from the President's Day blizzard of February 17, 2003. I'm there on the right, my friend John in the middle, and my mom on the left, our dog Hunter, who we adopted that previous summer there in the middle, and you can see those snowbanks up to my shoulders, almost as tall as me, and I was a pretty tall kid growing up. I love snow. Growing up, I was always that kid looking out the window, waiting to see the first flakes fly. But I'm trying to take an objective approach to our winter weather outlook for this upcoming winter. And I looked at 4 different factors to give some clues about what to expect in the winter of 2024-2025. Every single year moving forward, we're going to have the impact of global warming. This winter, we're likely going to have a La Nina developing in the Pacific Ocean, the negative Pacific Decadal Oscillation. I'll explain what that means here in a moment. And the long-range forecast models give us a clue of what to expect for the winter as well. First, talking about global warming, our average temperatures over the last 40 years or 50 years from the 1970s are quite a bit warmer than they were several decades ago. 4.8 degrees warmer now in Providence than it was 50 years ago, and that is a sign of warmer weather in most winters. Now you can see on this graph here, there are some winter seasons that still get awfully chilly, so we're not saying goodbye to winter, but our winters in general are more mild than they've been previously. More warm winter days we're seeing 18 days above average or above normal in southern New England. So it is getting warmer in general, and our nights are not getting as cold. Nights below 32 degrees have dropped in the last 50 years here. 16 fewer nights below the 32-degree mark in the last 50 years in Providence. So global warming influences our winter seasons. When you look at our warmest winters, 4 out of the 5 warmest winters in Providence have been since the turn of the millennium back in 2000. You can see 4 of those 5 after the 2000 year and 1 of them back in 1936. When we look ahead to this winter, we do have La Nina developing in the Pacific Ocean. That's the expectation anyway. Right now we're in a neutral pattern in between El Nino, which we had last winter, and La Nina, which we're expecting this winter. La Nina refers to cooler than average water temperatures near the equator in the Pacific because you have these trade winds that get stronger. They push that warmer water toward Asia, and you get some cooler water developing in parts of the central and eastern Pacific near the equator. For the U.S., that can influence our weather pattern. Believe it or not, cooler than average water in the Pacific means drier and warmer weather typically across the southern tier and eastern tier of the U.S. right up into New England as we get into the winter season. I also narrowed it down to look at La Nina years that followed a strong or very strong El Nino, which is what we had last winter. That can give us some clues of what to expect for this winter season. You look here, our average snowfall is 36.6. A lot of these winters below average for snowfall, with the exception of 2016, 2017, when we had above average snowfall of 45.9 inches. So this winter, we'll have to see what happens coming up here. Another factor I looked at is water temperatures in a different part of the Pacific Ocean. This is the Pacific Decadal Oscillation. You may never have heard of this before because it's not often talked about, but it refers to cooler than average waters off the west coast of the U.S. and the Pacific Northwest. That's the negative phase of the Pacific Decadal Oscillation. The positive phase would be if there's warmer weather here. What you need to know is this tends to coincide with milder weather again along the East Coast. It's almost like a yin and yang. When you have cooler weather in the western U.S., you tend to have warmer weather in the eastern U.S., and that's exactly what the Climate Prediction Center is expecting for the southern and eastern tier of the U.S. for this upcoming winter. This is the December, January, February temperature outlook. Above average temperatures for much of the eastern U.S., including us here in southern New England. I think the predominant storm track for this winter is going to bring most low pressure centers towards the Great Lakes. That puts us on the milder side of low pressure, tending to mean we see more rain than snow, while our neighbors off toward the Great Lakes, the Midwest, see more in terms of snowfall, and especially up toward Canada. Now, this is one of the forecast model guidance pieces of information we have here. This is from Ben Nall Weather. He put together a composite of several different climate models. This is what you want to look at when you're talking about a long-range forecast, the trends for the upcoming winter. Above average snowfall in the green, that includes much of Canada up toward Hudson Bay, but look where the below normal snowfall is projected to be. Much of the U.S. mid-Atlantic area looking at snowfall that's likely going to be below average for this upcoming winter if you believe these forecast models, and there's several of them that went into this map here. So this is not looking like a great winter from my perspective if you like snow. It may end up being one of the least snowy winters on record in Providence. This is the list of some of our least snowy winters. Notice just a few years ago, 2002 to 2003, less than a foot of snow fell for the entire winter season in Providence, and we'll have to see if that ends up happening or something similar to that for this upcoming winter. Looking back and recapping this, global warming tends to mean milder winters in general. La Nina refers to the cooler than average water in the Pacific, but usually warmer weather for the eastern U.S. The negative Pacific Decadal Oscillation I was talking about also pointing toward a mild winter for the eastern U.S. and our forecast models, which we just showed, showing below average snowfall most likely across New England and some more of those mild temperatures. We're going to talk to the team and see what everyone else is thinking for snowfall.
Now's the time that you've been waiting for, a look at our winter weather outlook by all 5 members of Storm Team 10. We're going to be taking a look at average temperatures and snowfall outlooks, and we're going to kick it all off with our average potential temperatures for the winter with meteorologist AJ Mastrangelo.
So yeah, temperatures last year, they were well above average, Christina. A good 3 degrees. We saw quite a bit in the way of rain, not a whole lot of snow, but it was also El Nino. This year we're transitioning to that La Nina pattern, and we do typically see above average temperatures, but I think we could see a few cold shots, so not quite as extreme as last year. I'm going 1-2 degrees above average for the winter.
That sounds good, and I actually really do agree with that. I think that we have been below average with at least our high temperatures so far this summer season, and I see a little bit of that carrying into the early winter before we really make that full transition to La Nina. So I'm still going above average, but just a little bit less than you. I see near seasonable to slightly above average temperatures, and don't forget, we're in southern New England. Sea surface temperatures play a huge role in the temps that we do see. So since our sea surface temperatures have been running so above average, I see that playing a role again early in the season.
There we go. Putting a wrap on that, Christina. I'm a little bit more aggressive than you, but nonetheless, we have some differences with our snowfall as well.
Yes.
So let's take a deep dive into that.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I am running near to slightly below average with my snowfall forecast for the upcoming winter. There's a couple reasons for that. First off, we have been seeing generally below average snowfall over the past couple seasons. I do see that continuing, especially with above average temperatures, but we're also expecting slightly above average precipitation, and with just a couple cold snaps, we could get a few big storms to give us that 25 to 30 inches I'm forecasting.
So you're going a little bit above what we saw last year, of course. Yes. I'm even going higher than that, Christina. I'm talking 36 to 42 inches, of course, a little bit of a narrow range, but nonetheless, we've been kind of overdue for one of those larger winters, and actually La Nina years following a stronger El Nino have seen a little bit more in the way of an increase of snowfall. So I think we'll see the storm track kind of align itself and maybe just above average for that snowfall this year.
Sounds good. Let's send it over to the evening crews to see what they're predicting.
All right, I love it. Those were some interesting, spicy snowfall forecasts, and we'll see. I think we're going to be surprised. Viewers will certainly be surprised by what the three of us are going to throw out there right now. Let's first say average snowfall. When we talk about the average seasonal snowfall, we go off the last 30 years at TF Green Airport. That's our state's climate site. It's technically 36.6 inches of snow, so we'll call it 37. Safe to say the last 10 to 15 years, that number's probably a little bit lower than that, but all right, Nick Rousseau, what say you, sir, about this winter season?
For all of the reasons I outlined a little bit earlier on, we are looking at milder than average temperatures most likely for this winter, 1 to 2 degrees above average. And the snowfall prediction for that reason, you combine mild temperatures with not a great jet stream pattern for snow. I think we're looking at below average snowfall, potentially a record for one of the top 10 least snowy winters in southern New England. So I'm going with 8 to 12 inches of snow in Providence this winter. I know that's pretty bleak for snow lovers, but the forecast model guidance, all those things I looked at earlier, just don't paint a good picture from what I can see for snow this winter.
Snow lovers and plow drivers are coming for you, sir.
Yeah, they're going to be showing up in my house with pitchforks.
You are in big trouble. Okay, so for my prediction, I base this off of my thinking that there will be a weaker La Nina. That the signs have been pointing to maybe not as strong as some of the earlier forecasts with that. So I looked at two analogs, and that was the winter of 03-04 and the winter of 13-14. Both of those winters featured above average temperatures. I'm going with 1 to 2 degrees warmer than normal, but they had in the low 40-inch snowfall range. Only takes 1 or 2 storms like we had back in January 2022. You get one of these storms with a lot of moisture to link up with a blast of cold air, we can get a sizable snowstorm. So I'm banking on that. I'm going 40 to 45 inches of snow, which would be above normal snowfall for the first time in a couple of winters here in southern New England.
I just bought a snow shovel last week, so if you're right,
you're
I'll be able to put it to use.
Now, Mr. Doris is never one to shy away from a big number.
Absolutely not. So I'm a little bit more bold. Nick was on the low end, and maybe the non-snow lovers are happy with his forecast, but the snow lovers, I'm here for you. I'm going well above average. I'm thinking about 63 to potentially 68 inches of snowfall, which would be one of our bigger winters that we've seen basically since the winter of 2014 and 2015. Now, this entire special, we've been mentioning a lot about those extreme precipitation events, but we've mainly been focusing them on the spring, the summer, and the fall when they're usually all rain. Well, could still potentially happen in the winter too, in the form of snow, and realistically, maybe 3 of these events, and then we could be right in the ballpark, and we could be flirting with maybe the upper 50s, low 60s for snowfall accumulation. So that's kind of what I'm leaning on.
All right, so you are the highest.
Yes.
You, sir, are the lowest. Maybe I'm the second highest, and then it was AJ, and then Christine is a little bit below normal. So we shall see, and at the end of the season, maybe we'll tally all this up, and we will have a winner chicken dinner, shall we say?
Sounds good to me.
I'm sure this is going to come back. Just to recap, there are the numbers right there. So 40 to 45 for me, 63 to 68 inches for Jason. Big time Doris.
Absolutely.
And Nick Russo is bumming everybody out this year that loves snow.
Yeah, if you like warm weather, if you like mild temperatures, I'm your guy.
All right, there you go. We'll keep an eye on this over the course of the winter, and we'll see what actually happens.
All right, well, that does it for us tonight, but we have just touched upon a couple ways that our shifting climate is affecting us in southern New England.
Our climate conversation is ongoing, and it is ever evolving. We are glad that you took the time to watch us tonight. Let us know We want to hear from you. What issues concern you most, and perhaps what would you like us to focus our next special on?
For now, I'm Christina Ernie.
And I'm Chief Meteorologist Mark Searles. Good night from beautiful Beaver Tail State Park in Jamestown, Rhode Island.
And thanks for turning to Storm Team 10.